Let's talk about how you can format your essay following the MLA guidelines, 8th edition. Now these rules are they have some flexibility to them, but I would try to follow them as closely as possible, especially if you're in the arts and your instructor asks you to format your essay in this way. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have the right font selected. So you want to go to Font, Times New Roman, and make it size 12 font. Don't try to cheat and change the size of your font so that you can get the word count right and so on. Just stick to the rules. Next thing, we want to make sure that all our text is double spaced. So we'll click on 2.0, and the other thing to notice is that we want to click on remove space after paragraph. Microsoft Word has this annoying feature where they tend to add extra spaces when you press enter, and we don't necessarily want that. Okay, now we're going to add some information about ourselves. So we're going to start with our own name. Let's just call ourselves John Smith. Then we'll press enter. We'll put in the professor's name. Professor, I don't know, Zach Jones, there you go. And then the course name, so English 101, let's say, and the date, January 27, 2017. There you go. So that's fairly straightforward. It's the same format in every paper. Your name, professor's name, course, and the date. And the date is a bit flexible, so most people like that date to be the date when you finished, when you printed it out. Some people like the due date, but I think I would go when you actually finished it, because it looks a little bit funny if you hand in your work late and then you still have the due date on the piece of paper. Alright, so we've got this part figured out. Now we also want a header that shows up everywhere. So if you want to access the header area, you just double click at the top of your screen and it will open up. And then we want to insert a page number, so we'll go to Insert, and then we're going to click on page number, top of the page, and now we want plain number 3. All right, the cursor nicely shows up right before our page number, so we'll just press a space for a second, and then we're going to put our last name there, which would be Smith in this case. I guess we have to press the space after, actually. So there's our last name and the page number, and we'll double click elsewhere on the screen to get out of this area. So there we are. And now this shows up on every page. So if we scroll down, you'll be able to see it on every page. Well, there's no extra page yet, but it will appear eventually. Next thing we want to do is we want to add a title. So we're going to go down here, press enter. We're going to center our title, and then we'll type in our title. We'll just call it My Amazing Title for now. And we want to capitalize keywords in the title. So you capitalize pronouns, nouns, adjectives, but not tiny words like prepositions and articles. Don't try to change the font size or use bold font or color for your title. Just keep it the way it is and it'll look just fine. All right, we're going to press enter again. We're going to left align. And then we start our first paragraph here, but we're going to indent our first paragraph. So we press tab, and then we'll start our paragraph here. Start intro, and you can keep typing. Eventually, you're going to come to your thesis statement, typically the last sentence or two of your introduction. And then when you start your second paragraph, again, you indent. So this would be your second paragraph. And if you have an extra space between these paragraphs, then try to get rid of it. So there's no extra space here, but if you did have to do that, you can go back to your line spacing options, and then if the option appears there to remove that space, then you can press on that. So again, make sure that you don't have extra spaces between paragraphs. The exception is if your instructor wants you to not have a tab space but have an extra space, then you can do that. But that's fairly uncommon and is perhaps more normal for things like writing online, because it's sometimes a bit trickier to insert paragraph breaks in HTML. So far so good. We're going to write the rest of our essay, and then at the end of our essay, you want to insert a page break. So insert a page break, and your works cited page will go on a separate page. You can see, by the way, that our header does show up right now, so that's nice. Now, when we add our works cited, we're going to go back to home, I'm going to center it, and then we can add our works cited here. Okay. And then when we press enter and left align again, then we would start our first entry on this side. And if you follow the MLA guidelines, everything is double spaced. So as soon as you set up the parameters that you double space everything, you don't have to worry about that. And you don't have to add extra spaces between the entries. That's it for how to format your essay using the MLA guidelines 8th edition. Try follow the rules, and if you do, I think your instructor will be mighty pleased with you.